Welcome back to another creepy countdown, and I think today would be a perfect day to take a look at some creepy Pokemon stories. So sit back and enjoy the horror that you're about to endure.
Number 7.
Let's go!
Audino's a Pokemon people like to use and abuse for the extra experience it dishes out on defeat. But what if the Audinos enjoyed this misery? What if it asked you to hurt it more and more, and you were forced to sit there and watch it slowly decay in front of your eyes? Would you be able to keep attacking it? Audino Wants to Play is about a Pokemon player who decided to use Audinos to quickly level up his party. But things go wrong as he notices every time he attacks an Audino, it comes back looking more and more disfigured. The Audino then began to communicate with the player using the in-game dialogue boxes, saying things like, "Are you having fun yet?" Or, "You're lying to me again. Everyone does this. Go on, have fun." Now, knowing this story, would you still want an EXP boost on the poor Audinos? If your answer's yes, well, don't come crying to me when they haunt your dreams.
Number 6.
Let's go!
As all of you know, I am a huge Pokemon Snap fan, so this next story is very entertaining for me. It's called Pokemon Snap Beauty. This story starts off as a standard creepy gaming story. Friend gets a game from a strange person trying to get rid of a strange game. Though this time the strange person just happens to be one of the main character's friends. And just like me, this boy gets home and is super excited to play some Pokemon Snap. When he starts up the game, he realized that something wasn't quite right though. The professor's lab was scorched with black marks, and the windows in the back were broken in. But our main character finally conjured up the guts to pick one of the courses on the world map, and what was seen next had to be the most grotesque scene. Dead Pokemon lay across the beach, and where the Meowth would run across the tracks usually, he was just laying there dead. And instead of the cart stopping where the Pokemon laid dead, the cart just ran straight over the Meowth with the grossest bone-crunching sound effect you had ever heard. As he continued along the course, he decided to keep taking pictures of all the dead Pokemon for some reason. And afterwards, Professor Oak started opening all of his photos with a sadistic smile and complimenting him on all of them. After the professor finished looking at all of his pictures, he asked the question, "Ever since Mew became angry, the world is just full of beauty. Don't you agree?" The player then decided to try and find Mew and take a picture of it. That was one mistake he wished he could take back. Once he found Mew and tried to take a picture of the creature, the game started to glitch as the words, "You have seen what true beauty is. Now you must become part of the beauty," started to fill the screen. The Mew then proceeded to attack him and his game crashed. He has never touched Pokemon Snap since that incident.
Number 5.
Let's go!
Ash Ketchum, the boy who dreams about becoming a Pokemon Master. And that right there is the catch. What if Ash's dream to become a Pokemon Master is just a very, very deep dream? There's been a rumor spread around that Ash's journey through the Pokemon world may just be a coma, and when everything is added together, it makes sense. Haven't you ever noticed that after Ash is struck by lightning earlier into the show, everything seems to shift pacing? This idea can explain much, like how a child can venture off into the world and still be able to afford everything he needs, or why there are a million Joys and Jennies. This is because he's only ever met one cop and one Pokemon nurse. His traveling partners can also be considered part of himself. Brock is Ash's repressed sexuality, but since Ash was a virgin when he fell into the coma, Brock must never succeed in obtaining the girl. There are many topics in this story that can actually make it seem like the truth. But what it actually dies down to is what would happen if Ash woke up from a coma. And I personally believe Ash would wake up to a world where Pokemon and people die, just like the real world. But I think Ash would still want to be the very best, like no one ever was. just like you should be.
Number 4.
Let's go.
When it comes to creepy Pokemon, many come to mind, like Gengar, Espur, Chandelure, and Drowsy, but none come to mind more than Hypno.
Hypno's lullaby was originally a poem based on Hypno's description in the Pokédex that stated, "It carries a pendulum-like device. There was once an incident in which it took away a child it hypnotized." Knowing that a Pokemon could just hypnotize a young child and take them away and do God knows what to them is a very creepy thought. Could he be hypnotizing the children into capturing other children for him? Or maybe just storing them like statues in a cave somewhere till they get old and die? Or maybe even worse, maybe he just keeps them locked away forever, consuming their dreams for all of eternity.
We shall never know what Hypno does with his captives, but one thing is for sure, I will be staying far, far away from Hypno for as long as I live.
Number 3.
Let's go.
Being a Pokemon Master is every kid's dream, but what exactly does that mean? Who will remember you, and what will keep you relevant in the future?
Pokemon Lost Silver is a story that touches on this exact topic, by pitting you against Red and watching you slowly decay away as you travel through this torturous game of Pokemon in horrible looking rooms. But in the end, you find yourself in your grave and learn that despite your efforts in collecting so many badges and attempts at becoming a Pokemon Master, you were still unable to avoid the inevitable fate of death, and your efforts were eventually forgotten by the next generation.
Lost Silver definitely teaches us to think more about the characters we're playing as in games and, well, what exactly happens to them after we beat the game.
Number 2.
Let's go.
Before Pokemon Black and White hit the shelves and millions of people got to enjoy the adventures that it had to offer, there was already another Pokemon Black that had been released.
Pokemon Creepy Black is a story about a boy who picks up a black cartridge Pokemon game from a flea market to discover it was a very special version of Pokemon Red, where you received a ghost-looking Pokemon with only one move called Curse. This move gives you the ability to kill Pokemon, and after the battle, if you select Curse a second time, the trainer will be gone and replaced with a tombstone, signifying that you killed them. Other than this change to the game, everything plays out exactly how it should, until you beat the Elite Four and see the Hall of Fame, because after that, the screen goes black and returns to an old man in the center of a cemetery. As you quickly discover this old man is you, and you also noticed all of your Pokemon are gone, and that the world is empty other than the tombstones of all the trainers you killed. With the plus that no matter where you go, the Lavender Town theme always plays. The story doesn't progress any farther till you return to your house, but once you enter, images of Pokemon start to slowly appear, and then images of people afterwards. And as the Lavender Town music slowly gets deeper and deeper, you realize that the images you are seeing are all the Pokemon and people you killed through the game. After this scene, the ghost comes out to play, and you enter a very short battle where you can only use Struggle, which in turn damages you and is ineffective to the ghost. And eventually he hits you with Curse and the screen goes black. No way to get out of it, no way to escape. Only solution is to turn off the system. And once you turn it back on, the only option is new game.
I guess this can be a lesson to us all. Do unto others as you wish unto yourself. Or you may find yourself in a grave one day.
It's me, number 1.
Let's go.
If there is one creepy Pokemon story that hits me the hardest and creeps me out the most, it has to be what is now known as the Lavender Town Syndrome.
If you have ever played any of the original Pokemon games, you will remember the creepy song currently playing in the background from Lavender Town. This disturbing and bone-chilling song has been the love child of many creepy stories, but the main one that everyone knows and loves is the conspiracy to cover up a mass child suicide. A few days after the release of Pokemon Red and Green in Japan, there were over 100 suicides among children ages 10 to 15. During investigations by the Japanese police, it was noticed that all the bodies were found with a Game Boy which had Pokémon inside it. All of these Game Boys would also be found with none other than the Lavender Town theme playing. After countless investigations on the music, it was found that the high-pitched frequencies used in the song were causing the children to go insane and kill themselves. The composer who specifically put the extra high-frequency clips into the Lavender Town song quickly disappeared and was never heard from again afterwards. And the song was altered to no longer affect children, and all the original copies of the game were found and destroyed. The even freakier part is that when an audio engineer found the original audio for Lavender Town, he realized that there were certain frequencies missing. And what he found after putting all the pieces together caused him to delete almost all the files on his computer and kill himself. When he was found, the only file that could be retrieved from his computer was an earlier version of the song before it was completed, and spelled in the audio wave of the song using the unknown Pokemon was the words, "Leave now." The weirdest part though is this song was released before the unknown were even considered a Pokemon. The mystery is still unsolved, but do you want to be the one to find the final missing pieces to the Lavender Town song?
Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this creepy Pokemon countdown. I had tons of fun making it, and I'm glad you made it all the way to the end of the video. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, don't forget to post them in the comments below, or email them straight to me. And until next time, have fun sleeping.